time.
Maybe.
That would move it, yeah. They tried that before. Anyway, on the subject of Microsoft, there are millions of Bill Gates wannabes out there, and a new contest launching this morning seeks to make those dreams a reality. Mark Mazaleski of Bang Ventures joins us this morning with the details. Mark, it's good to see you again.
Great seeing you again. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, tell us about this contest. It sounds like American Idol.
It is a little bit. You know, it's a bizarre amalgamation of American Idol, the venture capital process. If we're trying to go up market, we'll say it's wisdom of the crowds. But what we're basically asking is people to go this fall to the YouBeTheVC.com site. You have a business idea, you fill out the application. Throughout the winter, we'll do cuts with a bunch of expert judges. Some additional efforts will be asked of the finalists. And when we get to the top 20, we're going to ask the public to vote on which 3 we end up funding and developing next summer.
Is this your money that you're willing to let the public decide who they give it to?
Money people let me have, yes.
Yeah.
And it's also the money of a lot of the sponsors that are starting to come in on it. Deloitte & Touche, Foley & Lardner's involved, WPP, the advertising giant. They're also, aside from being sponsors, coming in and lending their expertise to actually help these companies get off the ground. So a lot of it is in kind, not just giving them a check. We're really going to try and work with them.
Why would you open it up like that instead of just letting yourself be the one who's making the decisions on this?
Well, you know, I think on the one hand, the venture capital process is kind of stalled out. It's very hard to get any kind of early stage money. In the Web 2.0 space also, the amount of time that it takes to get from launch to actually get acquired or to exit is so much quicker than it used to be, and so much of that is determinant on the public. What better way to get the public involved in an early stage startup than ask it to be part of its actual inception, incubation, and development? So we thought that that was actually an interesting shortcut. And that's why we asked the public to become involved with it as well.
Okay, but you're gonna winnow it down before you let other people start voting on it. You're gonna winnow it down and look for 20 ideas that you wouldn't mind investing in anyway.
I think to a great extent some of that will be there among the judges, but there'll also be report cards and there'll be information for the public to use. It's not completely wide open, but you never know. I mean, you know, if this works out well and the public does do what we hope they do, you know, we're putting a lot of stake in democracy and the public being able to pull it off. Maybe next year when we do round 2, we'll actually ask them to do it from the beginning. You
got any guesses as to what type of things you're going to be coming up with? What you're looking mostly at the web?
Yes. I mean, we're looking basically Web 2.0 technology. So it's going to be these social networking type ventures. It's going to be search. It's going to be mobile, location-based things along those lines. And I think what we're going to see is a lot of the bad and the ugly. And on top of that, we'll see some rise to the top and be the good. And we'll see if we can get those out there and actually become next Google or Facebook.
I mean, is part of this just an indication that with Web 2.0, you can't be sitting from the top as a business and decide what's going to be big? If you're looking to be the next MySpace or the next YouTube, you have to have the crowd that goes with it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look, Google was a very early player in this space with the social networking side with the Ochre, and it's gone nowhere in the United States. I mean, it's huge in Brazil and places like that, but just being a large entity throwing a lot of money behind it is not what's becoming a determining factor in how these companies survive and grow. So this seemed like a way of us to try and tap the actual audience again, and early on is marketing research is actually determining what company becomes funded and developed has been a big part of this.
How much money are we talking about for the winner?
It's going to change per winner because it's going to depend on what they need to get going. I mean, they're going to have you know, office space. They're going to have all the programming staff, their legal, their accounting work done, the marketing, things along those lines. You're going to see a big range. I mean, it could be as high as, you know, in the hundreds of thousands, and some will probably be on the lower end, barely touching into that. It's, again, going to depend on the application, how much work it takes to get it going. You
know, Mark, usually when we bring you on, we're talking about nanotechnology.
Absolutely.
That's where we've gone along the time. What do you think the next nano is?
Well, nano's still hanging in there. It's just doing what I think we talked about years ago, that was going to seep down the columns that it was actually affecting. And so you're now seeing it in energy, clean tech. So many of those applications that you're seeing now in solar and fuel cell, et cetera, are actually empowered by nanotechnology. So much that we're seeing right now in the electronics game. Again, nanotech is going into it. There's really not as much reason to add the prefix now. It's just sort of seeping in and have gained foothold in all those areas.
Yeah, that's what Joe's been saying for years on this. All along, nano, nano, nano. Kind of making fun of it, saying it was always there.
No, the technology, it's just what you call the tech. It's semantics, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. It was important to get the money together to pull it off, though. It would have been a big delay without having a rallying point. So it was very important to look at
without having the marketing around it?
Everything's marketing.
You got to frame the technology.
Hey, that's why we don't come out here in T-shirts and jeans. You know, it's the marketing around it does a lot too.
You came out here with 4-day stubble and long hair.
Yeah, hangovers do. But you know, today Today is not the case. I
Oh.
cleaned up and looked beautiful for
It's
you guys.
amazing.
It's the first
I
thing
didn't know who
I've
you were. I didn't know who he was.
All right, so Mark, again, tell us the website if people want to get involved.
www.youbethevc.com, and the public will be the VC once we get those entries. So entrepreneurs start this fall, and in the spring, public pretend to be a VC.
All right,
See how it goes.
Mark, thanks for coming on. You have to
Thank
come
you
back
so
and
much.
tell us how it's going.
Will do. We'll see you real soon.
See ya.
Get a check on the mark.